Hello guys, okay, this is Vishal. So today we are going to see a CSRF vulnerability and login a CSRF vulnerability. So first let's understand what is a CSRF, Cross-Site Request Forgery. So it happen as a authenticated persons, or we can call it authorized persons. If you are authorized person, then you can do the CSRF vulnerability. Okay. So it is a web security vulnerability that allow an attacker to trick victims into performing actions that they didn't intend to perform on a web applications where they are authenticated. So how a CSRF work actually? That the victim is logging into the web applications, for example bank or any website. So the attackers trick the victims into the clicking a link, so or loading the malicious page. So attackers is creating a link on the same browser, same web applications. That web application must be the vulnerable for CSRF vulnerability. Then you can do a CSRF vulnerability, right? That link page silently makes a request to the legitimate website using the victim sessions or cookies. Right. So bank website or that website will be supposed that request is come from the victim account, because silently it is taking the sessions cookies of who clicking that link. So obviously victim is clicking that link, and the request is going from the victim's browser. So browser is containing sessions and cookies obviously. So server will be suppose that victim is requested for transfer the fund. Okay. And attacker actually changed some modification in that link, or you can say like that code which we uploaded on a malicious website, and that malicious website link is actually sent to the victim, and that link is triggered by the victim. Okay, the request is created by victim now to the server. Now behind the scene is what happened. Attackers already did some changes, like that request, whether the request is go to the server, in that request fund will be transferred to the attacker, okay, by the victim who is clicking that link. So obviously victim is clicking, it means what, he requested to send the thousands or 100 or whatever the fund that will be sent directly the attackers. That's strategy of attacker. Okay. So the server processes the request thinking it comes from the legitimate user. Okay. For example, imagine this request is this is request change in the user's emails. So the attacker trying to change their email account or email. Okay, this is a normal request changing email. Example this. Okay. So I will like to change my email ID. So my email ID is attacker@example.com. So attacker could trick the victims into submitting that request by the embedding this in the malicious script. So this is our malicious script. For example, vulnerable website, CSRF vulnerable website is changing the email ID. So what is this request? I am attackers, and then I can use attacker@example.com website email ID there. So this code will, I would like to copy this code and upload it on any website. So that website link I would like to send it to the victim. So once victim is click on that link, so that request will be sent from victim browser to server, and server suppose that request is come from the victim. So victim's password will be changed as my email ID, correct? So victim don't want to change the email, but anomaly what happened, because of victim click on that link, okay, his account email ID will changed as my email ID. So that's happen. If the user is logging in, then it will be happen, otherwise no. So that's authorized CSRF vulnerability. Their sessions cookies will be sent, and the email may be changed, whether sessions is not fixed or CSRF vulnerability will be there, then that happen, otherwise not. So this is called normal CSRF vulnerability. So how to prevent it? Preventing is for by using the anti CSRF token. So you can synchronize the token and submitting the cookies as well. Same sites cookies attribute also you can set is as a strict, and re-authentications or captcha for the critical actions, avoiding the gate or the state changing operations. Validate the referrer original header, so origins domains must be added. Less labels but on added layer as well. So this is called CSRF vulnerability. Okay, that's usually we know that, but another thing is what a login CSRF vulnerability, and it happened as without authorization. So no, not necessary that you need to authorize. So in this case CSRF vulnerability, this happen after login, if you are login. So you can change email ID, you can change password, you can transfer fund, you can do so many things. Okay, whether CSRF vulnerability, lack of CSRF vulnerability, so you can do a lot of stuffs, okay, as authorized. But what is this login CSRF? See, this question is rise. I also face these questions while facing interview. So जो interview वाला है, that person was asking me for what is the difference between login CSRF and normal CSRF. So login CSRF is what? Cross-site request forgery on login page. It is a types of web service security vulnerability where attackers, what attackers do? He trick the login in a user into the unknowingly submitting a malicious request to website where the user is authenticated. In the contents of login CSRF, the attackers attempt to log in the victims into the account controlled by the attackers only. So rather than exploiting the session already login, that's happened. So how login CSRF work? The attackers create a malicious web page actually, and that auto submitting the login form, and the form submitting the attacker user and password. So to trust the website's login endpoints. Okay, if the victim is not logging in and the browser submitting the request, the victim's browser will now be the login into the attacker's account. This is kind of causes confusions or allow the attackers to track the monitor the victim's activity. That's a very important thing. So now our account is login in victim's browser, so victims don't know that he's logging my account in his browser. So what is benefit for over there? Whether victim is saving some change, doing some changes on that account, that ultimately synchronize. Obviously we can manage it, we can see whatever the change done by the victims on their browser. Even he don't know what account he login over there. Whatever he do the activity, that activity we can monitor later in my browser or in my systems, right? Whether he uploading some images on that account, obviously I can check it because this is my account. Okay, but he uploading some photos on my account, he don't know. Because of CSRF vulnerability, he just clicked on that link and unknowingly that account is logging on a victim's browser. Simple. See, this is a POCs. So if the victims is visiting the malicious page, their browser will be send a login request to the target website, and they will be logging in as the attackers. So why is matter? Why it is matters? Because it breaks the user sessions integrities. May lead to the data leakage if the victims uploads or save the personal data while anonymely using the attacker's account. This is a major importance impacts. How to mitigate it? Implementing the CSRF token on the login form, obviously. Even you can use the SameSite cookies to prevent the cross origins login attempts. Nice. So bind session cookies to the IP, or you can do the user agents if applicable. Avoiding the auto login without user interactions. Yeah, obviously that's the things. Even I try to find the alternative vulnerabilities names. For example, whether these vulnerabilities happen and it is happen suppose. Okay? So what we can call the what are the number of vulnerabilities name for the same things. You can call it a session fixations, login cross-site request forgery, cross-site login attacks, CSRF and authentication endpoint, and authentication CSRF, source login for attack sessions, confusion attacks, and there may be another vulnerabilities also. So if you guys know that another alternate vulnerability name for that things, please mention it in a comment box. There are number of, so I don't know. If you know, then please comment it. These are the often used interchangeables depending on the specific content, so such as OAuth, stop time documentation, bug bounty reports, or CTF challenges, like that. Simple. So here I am going to create a videos and would like to upload it, which you are currently watching. Thank you for watching entire video. I hope so you like it, and if I did some wrong, please correct me. Obviously I am also human, I can do some mistakes, and obviously I do a lot of mistakes, I accept it. So this is maybe the mistakes, but you can clear it. Thank you guys for watching again. Thank you again. Bye bye, have a nice day. Stop.